guys! Welcome to my channel. My name is Natalia. This is Crafting with Natalia. I am so happy to see you here. If it's your first time visiting, this is a channel predominantly about cross stitch, but also we have other crafts such as diamond painting and crochet, and who knows what else may come up. I have a few ideas for future. So basically this is a video, yes, pretty much all about cross stitch. And this is my Stitchy summary of 2022. What happened? Seems a lot happened. So I've just finished recording the main bit. I decided to do a sort of WIP parade, but I did it with my back camera, so you won't have to look at my face for a long time. And hopefully you get a bit of a better resolution looking at my projects. I will also show you first how I made my summary, so the spreadsheet I made to kind of list, like to keep on top of my projects now, because I have a lot of projects. I didn't actually realize how many I had until now, and it's quite a big number. So I will show you my big list. I will talk about what I've managed to complete this year. I will show you some of the things I've completed this year, and I will also discuss, well, basically show you all of my current WIPs. So all of the things that I have already started at one point or another. Some of them have more progress than others. Some of them are literally just small starts. But I wanted to have this video as a starting point for 2023. So I did do a WIP parade in June 2022, but it was my first WIP parade, and I wasn't very organized about it, so I was trying to be a bit more organized this time. I was trying to speak as fast and as briefly as possible, but I still think it's gonna be at least an hour and a half, which is still better than my last WIP parade, and I have more WIPs, so overall that's an improvement, no? And I think, as I said as well in my video, so I don't want to repeat myself, but I think 2023 will be less starts, more progress, and more finishes, hopefully. So hopefully by the end of 2023, my number of WIPs will go down. That's what I'm hoping for. Yeah. And really, I don't know what else to say. You know what? I'm exhausted after recording this. And I haven't even looked back because I need to edit all of it, so I don't know how good I feel like I was trying to be fast, so I think a lot of things maybe I didn't say properly, or I was getting tired towards the end, so I was forgetting my words and I was forgetting at all what I should be saying to you guys. So I apologize if this video becomes unbearable after some time, and I don't blame you if you don't watch it all. But I do hope that I will bring some entertainment to you at the start of 2023 with this summary WIP parade video. And we'll have this as the starting point for the new year. One thing I just wanted to say, 2023, because I mentioned that in my previous video, I am not making any official plans because I am really bad at making plans. So there's not going to be like a plan video or anything. We're just gonna have to roll month by month and just see how I feel and what I want to stitch on. But I also do want to make time for other crafts in 2023, because I think I've been a little bit unfair on other crafts. I have gone so sucked into cross stitching that I kind of put everything else aside. But I have lots of diamond paintings in my stash that I want to get through, at least some of them in 2023. I want to learn more to crochet a bit more, so I want to spend a bit more time on that, make some more crochet things. I have like, I was experimenting a little bit earlier in this year with like a bit of drawing and painting, and I'd love to go back to a little bit of that as well. So there may be times in 2023 where there'll be less stitching and more other things. But again, we'll just have to see how we roll. So this is just kind of to give you a little bit of a heads up, a little bit of an overview, what is going on in my head. But really, I have so many beautiful projects, and one thing that I realized after looking through all of them is that I love most of my projects. There are just a couple that I'm not sure about, but most of them I really want to work on. And that's a beautiful thing. That's given me a lot of encouragement, because I was a little bit thinking that maybe I've just been starting things without actually liking them so much, or maybe I was kind of just all over the place, which I am all over the place, but at least it was starting all the things I love, and I still love them. So I have so many projects I love, and it's great, guys. So yeah, I hope you find something in this video that will be of interest to you, that will give you maybe some ideas for what you may want to stitch on in 2023. Yeah, let me know if you have any plans as well. But yeah, I'm gonna leave you to it, because this video is long enough already as it is, and I hope you enjoy it. Okay, guys. I forgot to show you. This is my WIP basket. There's quite a few things in here. Look at it, guys. Yeah, there's a lot to go through. So get a cup of tea or a coffee or wine, whatever you need to get through this video. And yeah, enjoy. Okay, so hopefully you can see what I am seeing now. I'm not sure, because it's weird. It's weird when I record it like this. I can't see what you guys see. I just see my screen. But hopefully you can see my screen. And so I created a little spreadsheet, basically to sum up everything I've done in 2023, 2022. I hope this is everything, but I'm obviously actually not sure. So I made a few tabs. Mainly, I went through the list from my last WIP parade to see what WIPs I had on my list then, in terms of cross stitch. Because obviously the main craft in 2022 was cross stitch. So here's the list from that WIP parade. And let me just make it a little bit bigger so that we can see what's going on. Okay, and so then I've marked which ones I've worked on, which ones I haven't worked on, or I think I haven't worked on, because like this one I'm not actually sure if I worked on. I don't think so. So I think it's at the same point as it was in the last WIP parade. Then then also I marked the ones that I finished. And so from the last WIP parade, so basically in the last WIP parade, my total number of WIPs was 29. I worked since then on 22 of them. On seven of them I didn't touch at all. And a couple of them really, I put like a yellow yes, because I just added a few stitches in. And then, I put them down again. I finished 6 projects since the last WIP parade. I have 3 projects which I'm not sure if I want to work on in 2023. So obviously I have a lot of WIPs, because these are not even all my WIPs. These are the ones that I had in June 2022. And obviously I started some other projects since then. But I was trying to go through the list and see how many of them I actually like working on and want to continue working on. There's not any WIPs that I had then that I'm sure that I don't ever want to touch again. So I'm not going to UFO anything at this point. So by saying UFO, I mean, in case if you're new to all this, UFO means basically that you drop the project, you put it away because you don't like it anymore. And so from this list, there aren't any projects that I'm sure that I want to UFO. I have some maybes, which I don't really like that much, or they're just not going well. So like I started them, but I didn't really enjoy stitching on them. So they're kind of maybes right now. But to be honest, from making this list, what I realized is that I really like all of my projects. And I guess that's a good thing, because, sometimes when I start so many things, I really do wonder, maybe I actually... I just keep starting things, but then I change my mind and I don't like them anymore. But that's actually not the case. When I look back at the list of my WIPs, I actually like all of these projects pretty much. So really, that's a good thing, because that means there are a lot of projects to choose from already in my stash, which I've started, that I really, really love. So I think that's positive overall, because I was kind of worried maybe I'll find quite a few projects that I don't like anymore. But I think lately I've been better at picking projects that I like, at starting things that I really do feel strongly about, rather than just starting things and then feeling like, oh, I don't actually like this so much. So I think I'm getting better at that. Then I was kind of being a little bit overly ambitious. I was trying to go through the list. And again, these are not all my WIPs. I'll show you guys in a minute. But I was trying to see which ones are doable in terms of, they're close enough to a finish that I could finish them in a few months' time. And there was quite a few of them. So then I realized it may not be possible to finish all of them in 2023. But yeah, I just kind of highlighted the ones that are possible to be finished in 2023. And from this list, I got 10. Is it? Yeah, I think, because I have 2 lists, so I'm not sure if I added them up. No, this is 10 from this list. But I think that may be a bit overambitious, thinking I will finish all of them, because also I then have this list, which are my new starts since June. Some of them are small, some of them are very big, and there's a big variety. And again, so you can see actually quite a few of them are small, because all of these ones that are in green here, all of these are possible to finish in a short time. So I've got a lot of projects that I can finish, in a short time. I just need to pick which ones I do want to focus on and finish in the coming months. Because if I want to try and finish all of them, it's going to be probably too many, having all the other projects as well. Obviously, I'm not going to work on all of the projects consistently. Some of them may only get touched briefly in 2023. But this is quite helpful, because at least I can see all of them. I can see which ones I have, and I can see which ones I feel a bit maybe more strongly about, or which ones are closer to a finish. So I can use that list as a kind of starting point for 2023. And I can at least also, if I ever want to make any plans, which probably is never going to happen, but if I wanted to ever make any plans, I can go through this list, and at least I can visualize all of my WIPs and be like, okay, I've got this project that I haven't touched in a long time. Like, for example, when I look back at my WIP parade, this project, I keep forgetting about it, and I so much want to finish it. So this one is quite high on my list of things that I would really love to finish in 2023. So I can go through this list and be like, okay, which of these projects I feel that, I just want to get them done quicker than other projects, or I feel stronger about them at this point. So it has been quite helpful to summarize all that information. So since June, okay, this year has been a bit crazy in terms of starting things. I have gone overboard. For sure, I have gone overboard, and definitely I'm not going to do the same thing in 2023. But to be honest, I started 2022 feeling like I don't have enough WIPs to do a WIP parade and to really keep a variety on my channel. And I was kind of a little bit jealous of all those people who have so many different projects to show, even though also I do find it a little bit overwhelming having so many projects. So I don't really want to start too many more. I wouldn't want that WIP number to go much higher than it is, because it just is too much to manage already. But also it gives me a big variety of projects to choose from. So I think 2023 will be more about finishing things, about getting progress on some of these bigger projects. Like, for example, one project that I really want to focus on is that Fruit of Plenty 2021 SAL, which really I'm not getting very far in so far, and it's a very big project, so I really want to get some stitching in that one. So yeah, so getting some progress in some of these bigger projects, and finishing some of the smaller ones, maybe not starting as many, aside from January, because January is the start of the year, so we will have some new starts, but I think after that I will try and take some time off from starting new things. So anyway, that's the plan. Well, the plan, I don't have a plan, honestly, but that's kind of the general direction I would like to take my stitching in? Yes, I think so. So, yeah, so what else? So you can see, okay, I got lost. I lost my train of thoughts. Total new starts since June 2022 was 15. So that brought my total number of WIPs to basically 29. No, really? No, sorry. No, that's wrong. That's thank God. So I was thinking, this is not right. No, okay. So I finished, let me do the math. So I finished 6 projects from this list here. And these 6 projects were the Autumn Sampler by Satsuma Street. So I will insert the picture here of my finished project because I have pictures of all of them. So Autumn Sampler by Satsuma Street was finished. The molecular model, that's the one, well, I've literally just shown you in the last video, but I have it here on my table. So I will show you that one in a minute. The Seahorse, yep, the Seahorse. Oh yes, you don't know that, guys, yet. Yeah, I've just finished the Seahorse. I finished it on Christmas Day. So I will again show you in a minute how that looks like. And then the watercolor heart. I will insert a picture for the watercolor heart. That was from the little room in the attic. That's the designer here. And then a few months ago, I finished the Heartfelt Stitch Along from Quartershop. Again, I will try and find a picture for that. And I also finished Mary Amelia's Bird from Quaint Rose NeedleArts. So these were my 6 finishes since the last WIP parade. So that brings the number from 29 down to 23. But then I started 15 more. So that's really now 23 plus 15, which is a big number. So we have the total number of current stitching WIPs is 38. And I really hope my husband isn't watching this. I'm sure at this point he would have gotten really bored because he occasionally switches on beginning of my videos and then scrolls through them. Hopefully he got bored by this point or scrolled through this point and he doesn't hear it because he always asks me, why do you not just work on one thing at a time? If I tell him I work on 38 things at a time, I don't know what he's gonna think of me. But to be honest, I don't work on all of them at the time. I just have them really in my pile, and then every month I pull a few of them, but really I don't work on 38 projects at a time. I just have them there sitting and waiting for me. Okay, and then here, this is a tab where I finished some small things. So basically, since the last WIP parade, I both started and finished them. And these are just very small projects. Sorry, I don't know why I keep doing this. These are just some very small projects, such as the little smalls for small exchange for the 2 retreats that I went on. So like these 2 little bottles that I made into, what do you call them? Paperweights. And then also the folk heart, which was like this little hanging decoration or a scissor fob that I made for Stitch in London. And then these are the 2 ornaments, Christmas ornaments that I just finished this month. You haven't seen that one yet, but again, I will show you in a minute because it's done now. So I also finished these 5 smalls. So there has been a few finishes this year. So since my last WIP parade, that's been really 11 finished objects, some of them small, some of them a bit larger. And before that, I think only in the first half of the year, I had very few finishes. I only had like 3 small finishes, I think. So nothing big, but that will be total of 14 finished things this year. So that's quite good. So Okay, so now, and then I just created some tabs just for also for other crafts that I did this year. So I worked on 8 total different diamond paintings, of which I managed to only finish 3, which is a very low number. So definitely my diamond painting has dropped this year, but again, this is something that I may try. And next year I may try and spend a bit more time on diamond painting and maybe pick a few diamond paintings. So first of all, I've got these WIPs, which I started. So I've got these 5 WIPs, which I started that are not finished. So I probably want to focus on finishing them, but also pick some new diamond paintings from my stash that I feel excited about. Trying start working through that big diamond painting stash that I have as well. And then I just worked on 3 crochet, well, 4 really, because I made two worry monsters towards the end of the year. I also made a crab doorstop not so long ago. You've seen it finished probably in one of my videos. I can try and insert a picture here of my crab doorstop. Crab Mr. McCrabby. And I also, earlier in the year, I had some attempt at finishing a rainbow goat, which really didn't look like a goat in the end, but it was finished. So I managed to finish total of 4 crochet projects, so not a whole lot, but always something. And I also managed to finish 2 embroidery projects. So there was the sea urchin project from Rowandean Embroidery, which I have here on my table, so I can show that to you again. And then also the garden gate, which I gave to my mother-in-law when I was visiting her in Albania. So I will insert a picture here of that. And that's really the summary of everything I've done. And now I can show you whatever I have here that you haven't seen yet, or maybe that you've seen, you know, a while ago. And I will start going through that. I've got like a box of WIPs standing here, so I will start going through that just to show you, and I will try and make it brief. So basically just to kind of go through the WIPs that I have on this list here, on the 2 lists that I have, just so that you guys also know what I'm working on, what's in my pile. And yeah, and so at least we'll have like a starting point for 2023. And what I think I will do is basically save a copy of this file as a starting point for 2023, and then I will start adding things to it as I go along, so that I will know. Basically, I will modify this file in a way that I will know what I started in 2023. You know, what and as I finish the projects, I can mark the months when I finish them, and I can kind of add information to these projects and add any new projects that I start over 2023. So yeah, at least I have this, which is a great starting point because I already have a list of all my WIPs. So I just need to modify this slightly, and then hopefully I can keep better track in 2023 of what I'm working on. Okay, but now I'll put my camera on. So let me just, I don't know how to stop this now. Wait a second. So I'm going to try and stop this recording, but I'm recording separately on my phone, the voice, and separately the screen on my laptop. So I just don't know what to stop first. So let me try and stop my mic first, and then I'll stop my screen. Okay, so I'm going to try and do it this way. I don't know if it's going to work, so... because it's a little bit experimental, but I wasn't sure if it may be better to use my back camera, which is generally better for showing you guys things, showing you the colors, and just the level of details is generally better because it picks up things a little bit better, so the focus is better on this camera. So sorry, you can see my I tried to create like a creative mess, so you can see, you know, a little bit of stitchy things. This is what I have been working on today, so, well, and yesterday, but today I managed to finish it, except I'm missing it's not backed. But it's got a hanging thing now. It's got a hanger. So this is a Mill Hill ornament. It's called... Let me see, actually. I should have it here somewhere. Yeah. So it's the snow globe. And it's this number here, which hopefully you can see. So it's called the Christmas tree globe. And it's actually a lovely little ornament. I had a lot of fun stitching it. So hopefully you can see the detail on it. So it's got that little charm down here. It's got quite a few different colors, and it's got quite a few different beads as well on the Christmas tree. A little bit of backstitch and quite a lot of beads, so all the way here around the globe and in the Christmas tree, and on the bottom here you can see there are quite a few beads. So it looks really, really lovely. So I will give it to my colleague at work because she wanted a Christmas ornament, and I'm late. I know it's after Christmas, but I already told her I was going to be late, and she was completely fine with that. She was like, oh, I don't care. I'm just so happy somebody's going to give me something handmade. I love handmade gifts, and she loves Christmas ornaments, so she can have it for next year. So I'm just going to finish the backing off and give it to her. Yeah, but I'm really happy with how this turned out, and this is my last finish for 2022. Okay, you can see some previous finishes. So this is the Biscornu that I finished back, I think in April or May. It's from Tiny Modernist. And that was a really fun little project to work on, so I definitely recommend that one as well. It's these Biscornus from Tiny Modernist are really simple and fun, and she's got a lovely tutorial on YouTube how to put these together in case if you've never made a Biscornu before. This was my first Biscornu project. I really enjoyed working on that one. Okay. Then I mentioned that I've just shown you this, so very, very briefly, I finished this black work molecular model. So yeah, that was a nice, it was nice to get that finished as well. Another little finish that I have lying here is that, oh, I forgot the word again. The paperweight with the little owl in the bottle. This chart I got from Thousands Patterns on Etsy. I will try and list at least all the designers and the projects below. I may not have enough space to list all the details for the fabrics and how I'm stitching them, because there's quite a few projects that I wanted to share with you today. So I may just list the designers and the projects, just what the title is of the chart. So yes, that was a fun little finish. I completed that for the Redford retreat, so the Floss Friends UK. So actually, well, I made two basically, and one of them I gave away as a small exchange, and this one was my tester. So that was the first one I made, and I kept this one for myself. So yeah, so I do love that one as well. Some other small finishes. I mean, this is nothing to be proud of. My first attempt at making a pillow, really just because I had no idea how to finish this. This is like a little Easter chart from CrocetteaGogo on Etsy. Again, I will list below. But she's a lovely designer from Italy, and she's got lots of these little cute charts. And I think at some point I had idea of stitching all of these seasonal ones, but I only ended up stitching this one, and I don't think I liked it enough to actually stitch more of them. But at least I finished it, and then I didn't know what to do with it. So I made this very poor pillow because it's not filled in properly, and it's not really stitched properly, but it's, it is some sort of a finish, I guess. My next attempt will be better, I'm sure of that. Okay, and then I have a couple of hoop finishes. So one is the Aquarius from Satsuma Street. Again, I think I had an idea that I would actually finish all of the zodiac signs, and I only finished one. But now, it's been a while since I've finished this. I think that may have been March when I've completed this project. I'll may show you a bit closer. And now, I think back then when I was working on it, I wasn't convinced about the colors, and I maybe didn't enjoy it as much as I expected initially to enjoy it. But now actually, when I look at it after a while, I actually quite like it. And I finished it in a black hoop as well with a backing. So I quite like it now, so maybe I should make the other signs. Sorry. Maybe I should stitch the other the other zodiac signs as well. I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I make more of them? And which one should I do next? Because Aquarius is my zodiac sign. I've got a few friends who are Virgos, and my mom is a Virgo. My dad is an Aquarius as well. A lot of my friends are Aquariuses. But yeah, some of my other friends are Virgos. So maybe you should be a Virgo. I don't know. Let's see. And then I told you I was going to show you this again, but I've already showed you this not so long ago. So a very quick look at the Rowandean embroidery. This is the first embroidery kit I did. Well, back a few years ago, I had an attempt at embroidery as well, but it was a little bit different. It was much simpler than that. It was just threads, just simple cotton threads. And here you have all these little bits that are embroidered on top as well. And there's a couple different stitches as well. So this one was a really fun project. I really enjoyed this one. Yeah, so overall, you know, when you put all these different things here, this is quite a nice collection of... This is just a bag that I like to show off because Edita gave me this with my N on here, with my name initial. But yeah, but all these little projects here, I think, you know, it's quite a nice collection of smalls. Obviously, I also have the Mill Hill ornament. Let me just grab it as well. So this is the other Mill Hill ornament that I just finished earlier this month as well. So we've got these two ornaments. So yeah, so overall, you know, a few different Stitchy projects, a few different bits and bobs that I enjoyed. Oh yes, and I almost forgot the big finish. Okay, so let me move these out of the way now. I mean, it's not big, but it's bigger than these are, that's for sure. So basically, let me move all this stuff. So the finish, last bigger finish of the year. I haven't had any very big finishes this year. They were kind of medium size. So this is like a medium finish that I have. Is the Seahorse by Lesley Teare. He is finally done. I managed to finish him. So basically I finished the seaweed so the seaweed that goes around him, I finished it on Christmas Day, and straight away then I spent the rest basically of the day, I was just committed, I was going to finish it on that day. I spent the rest of the day beading. And so this is what I've got. Hopefully you can see all of him. Okay, let me move stuff and what again here. So this is, yeah, hopefully he's just fitting it. Let me just see if I can just zoom you out just slightly. Okay, so I've made some slight readjustments. Hopefully you can see the whole Seahorse now in all of his glory, because that's what he's called. He's called Glorious Seahorse by Lesley Teare. She's the designer. Yeah, he may be coming slightly more blue than he is because I've got a bit of a cold light, so it's not daylight now. It was a very dark grey day today anyway. So I'm using a lamp, and I think the colors are actually quite true to color. He may just be a little bit kind of more blue than in real life, and I think the fabric is coming a little bit darker than it is actually in real life. Let me just show you a little bit close up. Yeah, but so this is his lovely little face. Yay! Isn't he just beautifully spectacular? Obviously not my stitching, but just the design, I think is really, really beautiful. Yeah, and his little tail as well. His tail was quite a lot of work with all the back stitch, and hopefully you can see the chronic on that tail as well. And then, so in terms of the seaweed, or I call it seaweed or seagrass, whatever, around him, well, I've changed the colors a little bit of the seaweed. So I think I kept one of the colors. I think the purple one is what was charted. And I'm pretty sure I've changed both of the other two. I'm not sure, actually, I can't remember. But definitely I made some changes to the colors. Because I think there were actually two purples which were very close together that were charted, and I actually wanted to have like 3 different shades. So I have one that's more kind of sea green, kind of teal, and then I have one that's a bit more green, bright green, and then I kept the purple. And another change I made is I actually changed the color of the beads as well. So these are the ones that were originally charted. These are like the sea green ones. But I went through my stash of Mill Hill beads that I have collected for all the other projects that I've kitted up. And I found also these purple ones, which I think work really, really nicely. And then also I found these like light green ones. And so initially I wasn't sure if they were going to work, but actually I think they ended up working quite well. Sorry, I bumped the camera. But yeah, basically that's what I've done. So he is finished, not fully finished yet. I think I'm gonna get a custom frame for him. Just because he's a bit special, so I want to have a nice frame for him. I haven't ordered it yet. But yeah, I'd like to frame him. I'll probably try and frame him myself. I may try lacing for the first time and see how it goes. But yeah, that's him done. Yeah, do you guys like him? Oh, if you do like him also, and if you would like to stitch him, there is a giveaway in my last video. So if you hop over to my last video, which I will link in the eye up there, if you hop over to that video, you can basically, well, you can scroll through it and eventually you will find a giveaway in that video. And you're welcome to enter that giveaway. So you just need to leave a comment in my previous video. And what do I want to say? And you're going to have a chance to win this chart to stitch that seahorse. Yeah, so that's it really for, I think that sums up my finishes for this year. This is my last finish for 2022, last bigger one, obviously, not including that little ornament I just finished as well. So now I'm going to take you through my WIPs, but I'm going to try and keep it quite brief, so I'm not going to give you a whole lot of details about all these different projects. I'm just going to give you a few small details, and you know, if you're ever interested to hear more about these projects, I do tend to discuss things in a lot of detail during my floss tubes. So I have a playlist with all my floss tubes, which you're welcome to look through. I always list all the projects that I discuss in the description below my videos as well, so you can always know what I discuss in each video, and if there's something that really interests you, you're welcome to look through my videos and find the details in there. It's just for the sake of time, because I do talk a lot and I've got a lot of WIPs, as I've just shown you. There's 38 to go through, so I don't want to be here for hours and I don't want you guys to be here for hours, so we're gonna try and keep it moving. Okay, that's the plan. Let's see how it goes. Fingers crossed. Okay, so that little list that I made, as well, the spreadsheet, will be very helpful for me as well now, because I can go through that list of all the different projects. I've put them in my big basket, and I hopefully put them in the right order as well, which should help. So the first on my list is the kit from RTO. And I have it here, I have the covering page. So the kit is called Fairytales Live on the Rooftops. And I've shown it on my channels many times. I can't speak. I've shown it on my channel many times before. So if you're a returning subscriber, I'm sure you've seen it before, you remember it well. But I don't work a lot on this project. So I'm only, let me see where I am. Okay, even I don't remember where I stopped last time. So I'm not stitching it on the original fabric which was included in the kit. I am stitching it on this lovely fabric from Pulp Stitching Aberdeen. Hopefully you can see. Sometimes it's a bit hard to show this one, but again on my back camera it may be a bit easier to see that bird as well, with the little key that he's holding in his beak. So yeah, so I've got the bird and the girl. I've got most of the sky done as well. But I got a little bit stuck with this project. I'm not making a whole lot of progress. And I would say this is one of the projects that I would like to aim to finish in 2023. Because it's actually my oldest ever WIP. I got it for my birthday. I got this kit from my mom. Well, basically she asked me what I want, and I wanted this kit for my birthday in 2020, is it? What is it? No. Yeah. I don't know. No, 2021. I wasn't stitching in 2020. 2021. So and my birthday's in February, so I started it in February 2021. So it's been a while, and I would like to finish it this year. So it's going to be one of those WIPs that I'm going to put high up on my list when I decide what I want to finish next. So this one is coming. It's going to happen this year, guys. Believe me, it is. Okay. I'm just going to pack my projects back straight away. So that I don't make a huge mess up here. So sorry if you hear any crinkling. There's some plastic bags. There will be some unpacking, so apologies to those of you who may not be fans of crinkly things. Okay, now I've got 2 modern folk embroidery projects on my list. First one, that's another focus piece for this coming year, and I've just realized I haven't taken it off the Q-snap, so let me just take it off the Q-snap because I just wanted to show it to you properly, even though it's not ironed. So it's not actually Q-snap, it's the notch frame. I don't know why I call it Q-snap, but so no, it's not ironed. You can see the notch marks here, but I just wanted to show it to you what it looks like. I'm just going to move these flosses away. I had them out earlier because I thought it looks cool to have some stitchy bits here as I talk to you. But now we don't really need them. Okay, so we have this lovely project. So I will insert a picture here, which I'm sure you've seen a million times, people working on this project. This is the stitch along from 2021 from Modern Folk Embroidery. And it's probably, I think this is probably the Jacob's most successful chart because it's just so popular and it's just so beautiful. But I haven't gotten very far with it. So now I actually joined a group on Facebook called 25/7, and I'm trying to get a little bit of stitching done on it every day. Or if I miss a day, then I try to double the next day. So I only started it just before Christmas, but I'm hoping that maybe at least in January, I could try and keep going, stitching a little bit every day. So I would like to finish this square before the new year, which I only have maybe 250 stitches left or something in here. So I could totally finish that before the new year. And then in the new year, I want to start going down. So the way I want to work on it is actually to work on the kind of so you know, it's got this big thing in the middle. I will insert the picture so you guys can see. I'm not going to stitch the middle until the end, I think. I'm just going to do the sides and the bottom and then do the middle at the end. So that's the plan anyway, but let's see how it goes. So that's where I am, and people very often ask me what colors I'm using. These are just DMC threads. This is actually stitched on 40 count 2/2, which also surprises people, but that's what I did because I was a newbie and I didn't know what I was doing, but I actually love how it looks and I would do it again, to be honest. So yes, 40 count Newcastle linen raw, 20, what was I saying? For 40 count, I don't know, I was saying 20 what, I don't know, 40 count linen. And I'm just using DMC threads. So the red one is 815, the blue one is 3000, so 3750, and the brown is 844. So these are my 3 colors. And I just realized for the previous project, I didn't tell you the count of the fabric, but it was just a 16 count Ada from Pulp Stitching Aberdeen, the one that I showed you previously. Yeah, so that one was just a printed Ada fabric, which is kind of rainbow. Okay. So I think that's this project. I don't think I have anything else to... Well, I have lots to say, but I should really move on to the next one. So my next modern folk embroidery project that I started quite a few months ago. Oh, I just found the floss. Okay. You know, I'm trying now to stop storing flosses separately in different projects. I have like one central system for floss storage. I store them in floss away bags with numbers, and I store them in a few boxes in numerical order, and then whenever I need a specific floss, I can go back to my central system and pull that floss out. And I feel that works best for having so many WIPs there's no point kitting every one of them separately because a lot of them use the same DMC floss, and I would just end up replicating the same floss many times and having it in many different places. So now I have a central storage system. If I need to travel somewhere, I just pull a few different floss colors and pack them up. But normally when I'm at home, I can just go to my boxes and just pull the flosses that I need for the time when I'm stitching. So I found this one, which is still you know, I must have put it there a while ago, so I'm gonna put it back in my storage system. I'm actually looking for one floss. I'm hoping I'm gonna find it today when I talk to you guys. But anyway, the project I'm working on is called Isabella's Heart. And this one I'm not gonna take out of the Nurch, although I probably should because I don't know when I'm gonna work on it next. But I can show you like this, it's nice and stretched. So what it should look like, I'm gonna insert here. But I'm using my own colors again. Not sure if it's the best choice of colors, but that's what I went for. So you can see the pink is 917. I think the blue one is 819, and then the gray one is just 3799. So I'm using 3 colors again, but I didn't want to stitch it all in pink. I was kind of experimenting with different colors, and this is where I am for now at the start of the year. This is, I think, also stitched on 40 count 2/2 because it worked so well for my first modern folk embroidery project. So I did the same thing here. So I'm quite sure, but not 100% sure, but I think this is Newcastle linen in antique white. I think so. But it may not be, but I think, no, it must be. I'm quite sure this is 40 count because it's very tight. Okay, so that's Isabella's Heart. I don't know if there's anything else that I should say about this project. If you guys have any questions, please just drop me a comment, or you can also email me. My email address is always in the description below. So just, yeah, feel free to drop me any questions, and then I'll try and answer them to my best abilities. Okay, project number 4 is, oh, and that's not what I thought. Oh, okay, I know what it is. I put my hates in a separate bag, that's why I'm confused. I have a few hates, which none of them have a lot of progress on, but this one has the most progress on of all my hates. Most of them I only started and never really put any decent work on. But this one is Aquarius from Heaven and Earth Designs. But the artist is Josephine Wall. And this is a max color version. So I wanted it to be max colors because I think her designs are so beautifully colorful, and I just wanted to have the maximum amount of colors. I just loved, you can see the rendering as well on Heaven and Earth website, and I just love that max color rendering more than the non-max color version. So that stitch, all of my hates I stitched in 10 stitch. Yeah, 10 stitch, so only one leg of the cross, not 2 legs, just in case if you're new to cross stitch. I know someone was actually surprised once what 10 stitch is. Yeah, you know, why do you call it 10 stitch? I'm not sure why you call it 10 stitch, but it's just stitching one leg of the cross rather than doing a full cross. So it's a bit faster. So mine is 2/1 10 stitch on 20 count, gridded even weave, basically. I will insert a picture of what the finished project should look like. That will be in many years to come, unless one day I actually start working on it every day. Maybe I will, you know, who knows, but probably not for a few months. I don't think so. For now I want to finish more on the modern folk embroidery piece until I get bored of it, probably. Then I may switch to this, because these are my 2 oldest, biggest projects, I think, and I'd like to start kind of chronologically working for these big projects and getting some progress done on them. So this one, oh, I should give you some stats, but I don't have them on top of my head. I may try and insert on the screen if I find how many stitches I have stitched and how many, but it's literally like, it's a very little percentage because it's a very big piece. So this is just the moon, and this is just the top corner. So there's a lot of work to be done on this one. I don't know what else to say. No idea. So yeah, so that's my hate with the most progress. And then I'm just gonna keep going through my list because otherwise I'm gonna get lost. So next on my list is another hate. Now that's the one that I put a maybe on because I'm not convinced that I'm ever gonna get much progress on this project. It's not been working so far. I feel a little bit discouraged about this one because I started it and I didn't get very far, and it's been a bit of a struggle, but also because obviously I don't commit a lot of time to it. I think if I maybe stitched on it for a month every day and started seeing some progress, maybe I would feel a bit more encouraged. So maybe, but I may put it aside for now and just come back to it one day when I feel brave enough to come back to it. This is Starry Night from Vincent van Gogh. This is also Max Color. They have a few versions of this painting on Hate website. So if you go to Heaven and Earth and type Starry Night, you're going to get quite a few different results. So I'm going to link in the description below the specific version that I'm using, but obviously you can't really see it. But I will insert on the screen as well what it should look like when it's finished, which is a very, very long way away. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to put all the stats for the hates because all of my hates are barely just started, so it's really not very exciting to see, you know, so little progress, and, you know, they're all like 1% or something, or less than 1%. Except for Aquarius is more than I don't know if it's like maybe close to 5% now. I'm not sure. I think it's above 4% Aquarius. Maybe not. I don't know. I think it is like 4% because I think I said if I stitch the same amount for another 25 years then I'll be done, so it must be 4%. So that's my highest hate percentage done so far. Okay, next on my list, so I finished the Autumn Sampler by Satsuma Street, so that one we don't have to discuss. And then, oh, there it is, I found it. I thought I lost it. There. But the next on my list is the Whimsical ABC SAL from the Little Room in the Attic. Now, again, this is one of these projects which I really want to come back to and which I really want to see some progress on in 2023. Because I really love this one. This is one of my favorite projects and I haven't worked on it in months. So, Whimsical ABC SAL. I don't know if I can find a picture somewhere of all of them together, because they were released every 2 weeks. I think you got one letter, and obviously I only have the first 6 letters and a little bit of G done, but yeah, I've got a long way to go. So if I find that what it should look like finished with all of them on, then I will also insert the picture here for you guys to see. But yeah, that's where I am. This is the last letter I did. The F is for fantastic. And then I started, the next one is a unicorn and its G is for grace. But I only have a little bit of hair and a little bit of the horn done. This one's got quite a lot of different craniques and a whole lot of backstitch with different number of strands and also like white backstitch. So yeah, this one is it's deceptively, like, you know, these little things, they look very, very small, but actually there's quite a lot of, they're quite confetti heavy and they've got a lot of backstitch. So it does take quite a bit of time to finish one of them. So it's not a super quick stitch, but it's a really fun stitch. I really love it. So yeah, that will be picked up definitely in 2023 because I really want to progress on that one. Okay, next one up is Fairy Flora by Mirabilia. So she is my first ever Mirabilia and my only one so far. I'm very tempted to start another one, but yeah, well, and I probably will start another one before I finish her. But she is my focus Mirabilia. What should I say about her? I'm stitching her on 32 count Murano, and it's like this grey blue, I think it's slate blue, I think that's what it's called. And I've made quite a few changes to her. So this is what she looks like for now. So hopefully you can see her well. I haven't really made any progress on her since the start of December. Yeah, I've made quite a few changes. So I'm not using as many beads as is charted. but I'm using more Crainic, so I've replaced quite a few different threads like here and in the wand, and some like this is Crainic as well instead of using beads. Yeah, just because with her somehow I didn't feel like I wanted to use that many beads. I don't know why, but I just somehow, with Mirabilias, I don't always like how the beads look, but I really love stitching with Crainic. I really love when it's like so sparkly. I'm not sure if you guys can see the sparkle, probably not in this light, but I do love the sparkly thread. So that's why she is. And yeah, she will also definitely be worked on at the start of the year, and throughout the year. I would really love to finish her in 2023. So she's another one of these focus pieces. So you can see that in 2023, I really want to focus on some of my older WIPs. So I may put aside some of the newer WIPs, just to go back to these older ones and get some of them finished, or at least get progress on those bigger ones. Okay, and then we have a bunch of WIPs that I haven't worked on pretty much, except for I've put a few stitches in this one here. So I've started them, well, the two of them at least, I started for Black Sampler November in 2021. So this one, I will insert a picture of what it's meant to look like. I don't think it's got a proper name, and I think the shop where I bought it doesn't exist anymore on Etsy, so I don't think you can get this pattern anymore. But it's like a tree, and that's a monochrome tree, and I had a crazy idea of stitching it 1/1 because I thought it would look really nice, you know, when it's so tiny and delicate, but I don't enjoy stitching 1/1, and I'm not good at it. My threads keep disappearing between threads, and it's just a bit of a nightmare. And also I'm not a very good monochrome stitcher because I just get bored when I stitch with one color only. So yes, that one I barely touched this year. I think I maybe just finished this bird, and yeah, I haven't done any more progress on this, and this is one of the maybes as well. So it's the kind of project I may come back to, but I'm not sure if I will. So this one is been put on the back burner. And this is stitched on, I think this is 32 count from Eva Faith. So you can also find her shop on Etsy. She's a UK seller. Yes, 32 count linen called Sunflower. Yeah, she's a UK based seller. Yeah, no, and the fabric is lovely. It's just that I'm just not really, well, I think doing it 1/1 was a bit of a crazy idea. It was more of an experiment, and I think it would look really nice if I could do it nicely, and also if I had patience to do it. But I'm not sure if I have the skill and patience to actually ever pull that off. So that's that one. And then I have the other one that I started for Black Sampler November. It's not actually stitched in black, but it's stitched in 3799, so this is very dark gray. This is, let me have a look what it's called. This is called the Woodland Vines by the Ink Circles. I will again insert a picture here of what it's supposed to look like when it's finished. I intended to stitch on it in November. You can see I even threaded my needle. And yeah, it never happened. It never happened. It's another one of these projects I just don't get excited about. This is stitched on 25 count. I'm not sure if this is Lugano, some sort of 25 count even weave, 1/1 as well. And I don't have issue with stitching 1/1 on 25 count because it's much easier to see, and the crosses come actually quite even, they're fine. But again, it's a monochrome piece, and it's just a little bit on the boring side for me. But this one I think would look quite beautiful if I ever finish it. So this one I may try and continue at some point, but again, it's not very high on my priority list, so I'm not sure what will happen with this one. And then finally I have another project from the Ink Circles. This one is actually not a monochrome design, but I only ever stitched that part which is in black. Well, a very small part of the part which is in black. This is a piece called Pentatonic. This one, I will again insert a picture here, what it should look like. However, the colors are up to you, really. There are different color ways that you can use to fill in. My intention was to initially just do the black borders, and then I thought it would be really fun to fill it in when I'm done with the black borders. But I haven't touched it in many months now. But now I really want to, actually, because I think it would be really fun to stitch it. Yeah, it's a really nice stitch, and actually my hubby really liked it when I started it. So maybe I should pick this one up again. And maybe I could do, you know, a few minutes a day on it, just put a few stitches a day just to get some progress in. Yeah, so this one, out of these three, this is the one that I'm more likely to work on. But again, this one will have some colors in it, so it's not really a monochrome piece. And this one is stitched, I think this may be 20 count Ada, 2/1. Yeah, so I think it should be really nice and bright, but it may be hard in the end to get my needle through it. But I think it'll be really intense colors, and it could look really nice at the end. Okay, so going back to my list, then we have Hello from Liz Matthews. So I'm stitching her 12 Days of Christmas. And so I've got total of 4 of them so far, I think, in my stash. I've started 3 of them, if you can say that. And basically last night I felt bad. So the one that I have the least done on is the 5th day of Christmas. This one literally I only started, I put like 2 snowflakes in last year. And then I felt embarrassed last night when I was thinking about it. I'm gonna show it to you guys again with these 2 snowflakes. So I added another snowflake and a bird last night. So it's, you know, a few stitches progress since last year. So this one, I am stitching the rectangular version because I like it more. So some of these Days of Christmas I like more this version, and some of them I like more the tree version. So it will vary which one I stitch depending which one I prefer. But this is all I have, really. Not sure if you can even see this properly, but yeah, it's got like a little bird and these 3 snowflakes there. So that's just the very middle of the chart. Yeah, but it's a start. It's a start. I want to finish one of the other ones before I work more on this one. So that's why I haven't progressed on this at all, really. So the other 2 that I already started is the first day of Christmas. And this one, I think I'm leaning towards finishing first now. Because I've got quite a lot done. Sorry, I don't want to show you the chart. So because I've got quite a lot done on this one. So let me here, I'll show you. So okay, so I'm doing for this one the rectangular version as well. Sorry if there are some random cuts, it's because I accidentally showed you the chart. So I may put like a random picture or just cut so that you don't see it. But this is where I am with this one. And so what I was trying to show you is that this is what it should look like. This is the full rectangular, and this is where I am now. So this one, I think I'm now the nearest, yeah, probably the nearest to finishing. And I really enjoy stitching this one, so I think I may try to finish this one first. And it's a really nice chart to stitch. I actually really enjoy this one. Yeah, so there's another one that should be finished in 2023, hopefully. What else? So then the second day of Christmas, that one. Again, I found some flosses. This is really good for me to find all these missing flosses. So this one, that's the one where I actually prefer the triangular, the tree version of it. Mainly because I didn't like, I don't know, this kind of the year being here, and there's like a lot of white space. And I do love the smoke coming from the roofs on the rectangular version, but I think overall I prefer the look of this one with the doves kind of sitting in the center of the design and being a bit larger. So yeah, so this one I'm doing the tree version, and this is where I am so far, so you can see hopefully. So I haven't actually touched this one at all since last December. So this one has been just sitting folded away. I thought I was going to finish it this winter, but I actually didn't. I ended up stitching on other things, and there wasn't as much stitching time in December as I maybe thought there was gonna be. But it's a very lovely design. I forgot to say, going back, so these two designs, I'm both stitching them on 32 count Murano. I think it's all pretty much called for threads. I'm just using DMCs, I'm not using the silks. So she's got two options, one DMC, one silks. 32 count Murano, I think it's called Snow, because it's got like this glitter in it. So it's like a pearly kind of glittery thing. I think it's called Snow, or Glittery Snow, Pearl Snow, something like that. But it's the only white sparkly Murano that you can get pretty much anywhere. And I love this fabric actually. It's so nice to stitch on, and it's so sparkly. I don't know if you can see it. Hopefully you can see the sparkle on it, but this is one of my favorite fabrics to stitch on actually. I love Murano, but this one also, it's got very like kind of tough, like a solid feel. So it's quite like it's very like it's got a substance to it. So I don't like these fabrics which are very, very soft and kind of fall over your hand, and like they're not very easy to stitch with. I like the ones that are a bit more substantial, like this one. I just like the texture of it. And then, because I forgot to say that, for the first day of Christmas I was using this purple. This is also, I believe, Murano 32 count, but this is actually hand dyed from Embroidery Designs in the UK, and the color is called Cassis. So it's this purple hand-dyed fabric. Yeah, it's just the one that I had. I think I was going to stitch something else on it, and then I never did, and I decided to use it for this project, because why not? I think it looks good on purple actually. It's a bit different. Okay, so let me put these three guys away. Okay, so the next on my list is a kit from MP Studio. I think that's how they're called. I honestly can't read the Russian letters. This is a common misconception about Polish people. All my friends think that I can read Cyrillic, so these Russian letters. I can't. I honestly, I have no idea what they say, and I can't understand Russian. So just just in case if you think that we Polish people use, no, I have no idea what this says, but it says cross stitch kit. It just doesn't say. I think it's MP Studio. Yeah, MP Studio, the company name, and the title of the kit is The Sea of Love, and it's just a cute little kit that I liked. Also, like kind of in reference to my husband as well, and then just kind of, yeah, I just thought it was really cute. So I got that one, but I haven't touched this one also since December last year. So this has not been worked on. Let me just put it side by side. So where I am, this way around, I am here, and so you can see, well, I don't know how much you can see, let me do it this way. So I only have a bit of the blue cat, a little bit of that balustrade kind of thing, and a little bit of her bottom and her legs, and a little bit of the sky. Yeah, I'd love to actually do some work on this one. Not sure if I can finish it this year, but I'd definitely like to make some progress. I mean, it's not actually, there's a lot of 10 stitch in there. So actually this should be quite quick if I actually put some effort into it. So I may try and finish it this year, because now that I look at it, there's a lot of half stitches. So I don't know why I shouldn't be finishing this. Yeah, maybe that I can put on my list for finishing. For things that I think I can realistically finish this year. I think this could happen. Totally could happen. Okay, so yeah, and again, this is one of the older WIPs, and I'm trying to get through some of these older WIPs. So yeah, that's going on the list. That's decided. Okay, another kit is this. Now let me just tidy this up with this so that you can see. This is, what is it called? The Eastern Beauty from Riolis. Riolis. I'm gonna call it Riolis. It comes with these little hangers because you're meant to hang it at the end, and it comes with these threads, and it comes with this piece of kind of like beige Aida. Now I don't know if you can see, so I think this is 16 count Aida, and this is a very long piece of fabric. But the annoying thing about this one, well, I mean, there are a few annoying things. I think it's meant to go this way. Again, this hasn't been touched in a very long time. I think I started it in spring, maybe February time, I don't know. But I haven't pretty much stitched on it since spring. I think it was actually maybe March or something. Yeah, something like that I started it. But I barely just spent maybe a couple of days on it, and then I put it away and I never picked it back up. The annoying thing about this one thing is quite difficult to work on because there are multiple pages and it's quite hard to orient yourself, and there's a lot of like the legend is a bit complicated because there are some of the things you do in half stitch, some of the things you do full cross stitch, some of the things you do one strand because you have this like this acrylic. No, not like acrylic. It's called something. It's not a normal cotton. Yeah, wool acrylic. It's a wool acrylic thread, so it's quite fluffy. If you can see, it's quite a fuzzy, fluffy thread. Beautiful colors though. But yeah, so this one you can either use one strand or you can use two strands. The legend is quite complicated to read. There are multiple pages, so it's a little bit also difficult because like this is on a separate page, this is on a separate page. Yeah, just to know what's where. And the legend is on a different page, and yeah, it's just a bit of a pain. And then another annoying thing is that on the picture, you should be able to see that it has this beautiful like edge for hanging, right? But actually what they send you is just a piece of Aida, and they give you instructions for how to finish that edge, but the instructions are not straightforward, and it looks like a lot of work because this is a massively long piece of Aida and you have to finish the whole edge yourself. So that doesn't sound like fun. I may just end up like finishing it in a simple way. I don't know, maybe just ask my mom even to run with a sewing machine just to, you know, kind of give it a nice just even edge, just so I can hang it up when it's done. But I find it a little bit annoying that they didn't provide fabric with already finished edges, because they could have done it and you just stitch in the middle of it. But unfortunately that's not the case. It's even more annoying because I love these designs. They have a few designs like this one on the similar style, like I guess you can call it bell pull kind of style. And I love pretty much all of them, some more than the others, but there are a few really beautiful ones, like the Christmassy one, actually, the poinsettia one. There's another one with birds as well. And I'm just annoyed that they come like this, but I guess I would still stitch them because I do love how they look. It's a little bit strange as well stitching with these threads. They're a bit different to DMCs. But this is one that I'm not going to finish in 2023, but I would love to get some progress on. So it is going to come out soon. I may do like a peacock month. So January is a squirrel month, because I'm having a squirrel stitch along in January. But I think maybe we should do a peacock month. Let me know if you're up to, if you have any charts with peacock and you would be up to doing a peacock month stitch along. So that we can catch up, we can make some progress on our peacock designs. I would really love that. I've got another peacock, which I'm going to show you now. My peacock number 2 is the all feathers from Rosewood Manor. And so this one is just a cute design. I just like, it's very, very cheerful, very silly, very cute. I don't think I'm going to stitch this bit though. I think I'm just going to stitch the peacock itself without the bottom bit and without the initials probably. What do I want to say? So this one, it was charted in sulky threads, but I didn't have sulky threads, and at that point I didn't really know where you can order them from, so I just converted them to DMC, which I don't think makes that much difference, to be honest, color wise. So this is the fabric I'm using. This is paisley fabric. I think it's blue paisley. This is from Fabric Flair. I got it from Lakeside Needlecrafts. I think I forgot to tell you one fabric before. I just realized that because it was also Fabric Flair. When I was talking about my whimsical alphabet, let me just pull it out again. This one was also Fabric Flair. This one was 18 count Ada, and this one was Fairy Dust Cloud Blue, or pink / pink, because it's both of them. So yes, this one was 18 count Ada. Yeah, and then this one is it 18 as well, or is it 16? No, it's also 18 count Ada. And this one is in paisley blue paisley. Where did it say that? Paisley Twirl. But I think there's also a different color version of this. So this one's the blue one. Paisley Twirl. And yes, so I just have this little head, really. I literally spent like a day on it. And that was it. So this one, if we do the peacock month, this one has to come out. Yeah, and we're gonna get some progress on him. Let's do it. Peacock month. Okay, let me just tidy up a little bit because I've got all these peacocky stuff in here. Right. This is a really nice chart, by the way. So we have to, this one had a horrible chart. Well, not horrible, it's clear, but it's a bit of a pain. This one is so nice to work from. I definitely recommend it. Very clear. It's got some extra small like motifs or advice and stuff in it, like nice little comments. Very cute little chart. The next one up, now we're coming to more recent projects that you would have seen, probably most of them. Well, depending how long you've been watching my channel. Maybe this is your first time watching my channel. If that's the case, welcome. I hope you're still with us. I hope you're enjoying yourself, and I hope you're gonna come back. You know, don't forget to subscribe at the end as well. But this is, what is this called? Love is in the Air by Cottage Garden Samplings. This was meant to be finished ages ago, which never happened, obviously. But this is high on my list. This is very high on my list for being finished. Because also it shouldn't really take long to finish this at all. Because all I have left to do is stitching these green things and the flowers. Stitching this flower here, and well, so quite a bit of stitching, but it's not a huge amount of stitching. And then it's just filling in these pigeons. This one, obviously I'm stitching on a different fabric to what was recommended. I'm also using a mix of threads. Some of the threads I've changed from the original, like the greens. I think both of the greens I've changed from the original. I've changed the key from the original. These are DMCs. I think these are what was recommended. So you have an option to stitch in DMC, and then you have an option for some of the threads to stitch in Gentle Art. I didn't have the Gentle Art. I think I actually tried to buy them. They were not in stock. So I just bought some other threads. Mainly it was for the heart that I wanted to find a thread to stitch the heart. And I actually bought, I'm trying to remember now actually. Let me see. Ooh, there's a lot of threads in here. But I'm kind of keeping them because because I've made so many changes, I may forget what I used. So these ones I may actually keep in here. But these are all obviously DMCs, but in here I've got these. So I've got some Weeks dye works in here. So this is the one that I'm using for, I think for this part of the heart. And this is called the Begonia. It's a really nice, beautiful, deep pink color. It's a lovely color, actually, that one. And then another one that I bought was this one, which I'm not convinced about that one. It looks a bit bruised, that heart. because it's got that purple going through it. It's very variegated. It's this one here. So there's quite a lot of variegation. Sorry, it's messed up because it's been, yeah, I've not been taking good care of it. I'm terrible with using floss drops, and I've just been putting them back in the bag. So this one is called Berry Splash 4153. So these are the two colors that I was using. Kind of random. I just ordered some pinks online and I didn't know what they were going to look like. Not exactly what I was going for with this one especially, but that's okay. And then this one is just Bashful. Bashful 1083. I'm not really sure. Oh, well, if it's better than just using DMC white. I only did a little bit of filling here. It does seem to look quite nice in terms of like the coverage. The stitches look alright. They don't look horrible. So I guess it's a nice kind of white alternative if you want. I thought it was gonna be, well, I wasn't really sure what it was gonna be, to be honest, but I think on the picture it was slightly, it had a tinge of another color, but actually in reality it's just white. To me, to my eye, it just looks white. Okay, but anyway, so yes, these colors, I'm just gonna keep them in the bag here because I'm gonna forget. I mean, I think I made some notes on somewhere. I wrote down what I was using, but just in case if I don't find that note or whatever, I'll just keep them here for now. And did I say that this is 32 count Murano as well? And this is, it's got a number, which I always forget because it's been a while. But yeah, this is like another kind of blue, grayish blue. But it's a different blue to the one that I have in Mirabilia. So the Mirabilia one is a little bit less. Yeah, this one is a darker blue. This is like a, this is slate blue for sure. And this one is some other kind of blue. Yeah, I can't remember the number now. If I find it, I will maybe put it in the description or on the screen. Okay, next one up is Move Forward in Love by the Modern Folk Embroidery. So again, I will insert what it's supposed to look like when it's finished. I am stitching the colorful version, although I've changed the middle, and I just stitched the actual words in the middle with a rainbow thread, and just so you can see. Everything else on the outside is the same as the colorful version, because there were two different versions of this design. Yeah, and I haven't really been working on it since summer. I think since June when it came out. So yeah, not a lot of progress on this. But it could be finished in 2023 if I actually work on it. Yeah. I'm not a fan of this very bright yellow, to be honest, and I kind of regretted that I didn't use a different yellow. But I guess it's meant to be bright, obviously, and rainbowy, but somehow I don't like how it looks on this fabric. I don't know. I think it was Ross from Ross Clark Crafts the other day. She was talking about, this is Edinburgh, I should have said, this is 35 count or 36 count Edinburgh linen in platinum. And literally Ross was talking the other day about, like, she was asking if people have advice for using yellow DMC, what number works on platinum linen. I don't think this one works, whatever number that is. Maybe it's just the color of the fabric. I think this is, but this is just a variegated rainbow thread, and I got from Threadworks. This yellow I think looks much better on this fabric, but I don't know what's the DMC equivalent of that. But that's the thread that I'm using. So it's the, do I have the number? 1154. It's from Threadworks. Yeah, it's a really lovely thread. If you ever need a rainbow thread, that one works quite well. And yeah, that's really all I have to say about this one. Then, what's next on my list? Okay. The next project on my list comes in a lovely project bag, which I got at the Floss Friends UK retreat. But I'm still not sure who actually made this bag. There was a bag seller at the retreat, and I was trying to find that shop on Etsy, but I couldn't find it. So I'm not sure if she's got a website or where you can get these bags. But it's a beautiful beautiful bag, which matches the project. So the project is The Moons of 2022 by Kathy Barrick. And I'm just modifying it a little bit. So this actually comes with 2 different charts, and one of them doesn't include that middle part at all. It's just this together with the bottom. I am stitching that smaller chart, but I'm also adding these borders on the side. So basically, let me show you where I am with this one. So basically I started that sky, so we can see that basically, I don't know if you can see it, but there's the moon up here, the big moon. I stitched a few stars, and I stitched a chunk of this border, which I'm adding on the side, and I'm going to add another one on the other side as well when I actually reach the other side. That's the plan. Yeah, so this is also stitched on 32 count Murano even weave. I believe this is antique white. I think so. Yeah, I'm not sure what else to say about this one. Pretty straightforward. Again, if you have any questions, oh yeah, if in terms of threads, I'm just using DMCs. Again, you have option to use NPI silks, but I'm just using, but you also have an option to use DMCs, and that's what I'm doing. Next one up is a chart from a Ukrainian designer on Etsy, which is called Non-Stop Stitch. I will insert the picture here of what it's meant to look like. It's called Rooster with Poppies. And this one I didn't get very far on. I'm not sure I'm going to stitch on it again. I do love the design, but I only have a bit of the feathers. I just haven't really, I've been stitching on other things, so I haven't made a lot of progress on this one. But I do love the image, and I'd love to finish it one day. Not necessarily in 2023, but I will definitely try and get some progress on it. I have an error in here with one of the colors. I used the wrong color, but hopefully it's not going to make that much difference. I left it in for now. I didn't want to frog it, and it actually looks quite nice as it is, so I may just see how the rest looks and may just leave it in. This is 28 count Lugana in taupe. I think that's how you say it, taupe. So this kind of beige, dark beige slash bronze color. I actually really like it. It looks very rustical, and it's very nice to stitch on actually. So yeah, I like even weaves. I much prefer even weaves to linen. I've just realized that because I started stitching something on linen, and I really realized maybe I'm not a linen person, or maybe I only like very high count, because I quite enjoy stitching on 40 count, but somehow the lower count linens I'm struggling with. Okay, next one up, another kit. Is the teacups from Lucas or Lucas, which is, well, it says made in Moldova, so I believe the company is based in Moldova, but actually they are selling in the UK. So I don't know if they have a branch here or how it works, but you can get all their kits in the UK very easily, which is very convenient. So this one made me think of my mom, who really loves her teacups, little ancient teacups, and I was stitching on it consistently for a little while, but then I stopped, so I haven't made a progress on it in a long time. But this is the part. Let me see if I can put it side by side as well. So I started in the middle. I usually try and start in the middle if I can, if it makes sense. So basically the middle teacup is this one here. And so yes, I only started doing some of these green bits on that teacup. Yeah, but I haven't made a whole lot of progress on it either. Definitely I want to get some progress in this year. Whether I will finish it, I don't know, we will have to see. But it's not on my priority list at the moment, I would say. And we're getting to the end of my first list, so the WIPs from the last WIP parade. Right at the end of that list, I have the world map from the Cross Stitcher magazine, I will insert a picture here of what the world map should look like. It came in multiple issues of the magazine, and I got very excited when I first saw it, and I collected, well, basically I got all the online editions of these issues, and I thought, oh, I'm gonna stitch the world map. That was quite early when I started stitching. And I'm using 32 count Belfast linen, I think, in just a raw natural linen. And this is where I am. So I am in Africa, and I've already made some changes, but I need to continue because I'm gonna forget what I planned to do. So I really should stitch the rest of this continent now, because I made a change, because I didn't know what one of the things was on the map, and so far nobody has been able to answer me. I'm going to insert a picture again, so of the whole map, and then I have a close-up picture of the bit, which I don't know what it is, which is kind of towards South Africa. I don't know if it's an animal, if it's a landmark, or whatever it's meant to be. I couldn't figure out what it is, so I decided to change it. And I decided instead to move a giraffe from here to down here, and then to, instead of putting giraffe here, to put a Kilimanjaro mountain, because I know, because I think there should be Kilimanjaro in Africa anyway. And it may not be, the location of it may not be correct, but I don't think the other things are exactly where they should be either on the map, so that should be fine. And then the giraffe will be moved. But yeah, let me know if you know what the other thing is, because I'm really curious what it was meant to be. And we'll see. This is a very, I'm not sure when this project, if it will be finished. And this is for, I kind of lost my drive of this project. I think when I first saw it, I got very excited, but then obviously I started stitching other things, and I got, drawn to other things more. And now I'm like, yeah, it's kind of cute, and I want to keep going with it because, the colors are actually really lovely, really nice, very whimsical, and it would be nice maybe to have like on a wall. Even if you have a child, in like a children's room or something, like a silly world map, that could be quite cute. So I don't know. One day I may finish it, but it's not on my priority list. Definitely not. And then the final thing, which I did show you in my last WIP parade, but this is really a I don't know how you call this, but this is something a project that I invented for myself, and I'm not sure if it's any good, but because I'm halfway through it almost, I may just as well finish it. And because it's a very small project, this is just my own stitching. I wanted to stitch something with daffodils, and that was after I made this Biscornu, and I was in a Biscornu kind of mood, and I thought, oh, could I try and make my own Biscornu with daffodils on them? But it didn't go so well according to plan. I had some test stitching and it didn't look right. Then finally I came up with this, and I was just going to repeat this motif. So I'm just missing the two flowers here, and then I just wanted to stitch something on the back to have like the corner, how the Biscornus go, to have like the green corner on the bottom. But this is very experimental, nothing special, just my own kind of experimenting stitching. But I would like to finish it and see how the Biscornu looks in the end. So I'll try and do it. Maybe this spring I will finish it, when the daffodils come up again. Yeah, so that's this one. So now we're on to the second list. So the second list is the things I started after June. So again, if you're, one of the recent subscribers, you have probably seen these projects on my channel already. Some of them come more often than others. Like this first one, you may have forgotten that I have, because even I forget that I have this project. This is a full coverage piece from Vivsters. So that's another UK designer, Vivsters. And I found the floss. I knew it was hanging about somewhere. It was between the fabric. The fabric was folded over this. So I was looking through all my bags. I couldn't find where 321 floss. And you see how many I already have. I was like, I don't want to buy another one of these because I know I have it. I just don't know where. I already have like 4 of them. So I'm so glad I found it. This is very good news. Okay. So mystery solved. My 321 floss has been found. Okay. And so this is where I am. So not a whole, this was literally just my holiday stitch. We went for a small holiday, just a weekend away in June. We went to the seaside with my hubby. and I thought I wanted to have a new holiday start. And I will show you what it's meant to look like when it's finished. This chart comes in 2 different versions, one smaller, one bigger. And I went for the smaller one purely because I would like to finish it one day, and if I pick the larger one, probably I will never finish it. So this is what I got. This is probably, well, just the weekend worth of stitching. This is, I think this is 18 count Ada. I'm quite sure this is 18. I think so. I think this is 18 count Ada. And what was I meant to say? I've forgotten now what I was meant. Oh yeah, so this is full cross. So this is the only full coverage I have that's not 10 stitch. And this is actually full cross stitching. Yeah. I think Wifsters, actually, they have lovely designs. I love their designs. I have another chart from them, which I would love to start. I think I even have a fabric for it already, but I haven't. I have quite a few of these. Maybe I should make another video. The charts that I have, some of them are partially kitted up, some of them are fully kitted up. I have like another box with charts that I have, or I have some PDF charts that I bought. That I would really love to start sometime. I have actually quite a long list of things I'd love to start. So if you guys are interested to hear what I would want to stitch, what I have kitted up, or what charts I have, we can do a video like that at some point as well. Okay, found another 2 flosses. Here we go. So this is Lady Halloween. This one I've shown to you recently. I think last time I've shown you was for Halloween, my Halloween special edition video. I'm stitching this one in a colored version, so instead of the grays, I'm using these lovely 2 colors. It's because I've seen they actually have it on the website. If you go to Jardin Privé website, you will see a picture of this chart stitched in these colors, and you can even straight away order it printed with these colors. And also you can even buy floss on there as well, so that's what I did. I didn't buy the fabric from them. This is Murano. I think it's called Cream Claire, if I remember correctly. So this is bought from Jardin Privé, from their website. So it's a French company, but they ship very quickly to the UK. It only took maybe a couple of days for this to get to me from France, and that was after Brexit. So this is where I am. She is one of my favorite projects. Now, I don't know if I would finish her in 2023, but I would definitely want to make, you know, a significant amount of progress on her. So I've managed to stitch all of this year, since maybe I started her in, I think it was in June. It was for Chris Cross Stitch was doing this Halloween summer stitch along, which I forgot the hashtag now. Spooky Summer Stitch, I think that's what it's called. So I was doing it for that. I started in June for that. Yeah, and that's why I managed to stitch this year. So if I could stitch the same amount in 2023, you know, I would have quite a bit more, maybe like 2/3 of the design stitched. And then, you know, maybe the year after I can finish her. Well, who knows how it all goes, you know. She is really fun to stitch. She is one of my favorite projects to stitch on. So if I feel like it, I may manage to stitch a bit more, but we're just gonna have to see how the year goes. Okay, next up is Caterpillar Cross Stitch. It's called Seize the Day. Now I wonder, what did I say? Because I always get confused with these 2 titles. The one of the cats on the boat, that kid from MP Studio. I don't know what I told you the title was, because that one is called The Sea of Love, and this one is Seize the Day, but I somehow always get confused. So just to clarify, this is Seize the Day from Caterpillar Cross Stitch. This one is another one stitched on, I will insert a picture, by the way, of what it's meant to look like when it's finished. This one is also stitched on fabric flare. This fabric is called Snow on Buff. Not sure what that means, but it's called Snow on Buff. And I have this much stitched. So not a whole lot. I started in summer, just did a little bit, but it's very cute. I really enjoy stitching this actually. The colors are so bright. It's another one of these very whimsical kind of childish designs, but I love them as well. Caterpillar cross stitch has some lovely designs as well. So yeah, there's a whole lot of other things in this chart, and I will continue stitching on it this year, this coming year. I don't think I will finish it, I doubt it, but I can just, you know, add a few different motifs this year. Let's see, this will probably come out in the summer. I doubt it's gonna come out before summer. It's very unlikely. So as you see, I have some summer projects, which I do tend to do, like, I seem to like seasonal stitching in a way. There are some projects that I can stitch on every, you know, regardless what time of the year it is, but I do have quite a few projects that I just like to, like Lady Halloween when it gets closer to autumn, or like the summer projects, the sea projects, I like to do them in the summer, and then the winter projects I prefer to do closer to winter. So it's just something I like to do. Then the next one, I barely have any stitching in this one, to be honest. There's not a lot to show, so just very quickly. And this is another chart from Heaven and Earth, but this is, it's not a full coverage because it's got no background. So I'll insert the picture here, what it's meant to look like. It's Wisdom. It's an art by Tom Allen. And yes, I'm stitching the non-background version of it. Again in 10 stitch on, I think this is, let me see. This is a fabric from Pole Stitches. It's a 28 count Brittany Lugana in color Daybreak. So, I mean, I can show you the fabric because it's really beautiful. And I thought these owls would look lovely on this fabric if I ever actually managed to stitch them. The fabric is beautiful. It's like a sky, like a kind of, yeah, like a breaking sky with all these purples, like, and then maybe like early in the morning or in the evening kind of sky. But yeah, I only have this tiny little bit in the middle, which is part, I think, of the bigger owl. One of the owls anyway. It's like part of her fur. It kind of looks like this, like skin, you know. I don't enjoy stitching with these colors. And there's a lot of like pale colors in this design, so I think that's why I wasn't too drawn to it. So I literally put, I don't know, a day or two of stitching in it, and then I just left it and I haven't touched it since then. So this one is really just a start. And yeah, this is 10 stitch as well. So nothing interesting to show here really. There will be a couple more starts where there isn't really a lot to show. The next one actually, the next that's, I'm really struggling to get my words out now. But the next one there's on my list actually is the octopus. I actually forgot about that one, to be honest, until I was making this list, and then I remembered about it. So the octopus, which is a design by Star Parade, and that one was very sweetly published upon my request, because Michael from Star Parade, who also has a YouTube channel, he's a lovely stitcher, also originally from Poland like me. He designed, his first chart was this nautical chart, and it had like a part of like octopus sticking out. And then he when I went to his Etsy shop, I also saw that he had like another chart with like the full animal, and I love octopus, so I was quite excited, but it was a bit weird looking. But then I said to Michael, oh, I'm glad that you released this whole chart of the octopus. And he's like, oh, this is not actually octopus, this is some octo squid or something. And he's like, but I can make an octopus for you if you want. And then the next day, literally, or after a few hours he published this chart, which I'm going to put on the screen. You can get it on his Etsy store, Star Parade. And I'm kind of experimenting with this one. So I have this lovely piece of fabric, which is, I think, what is it? Is it 28 count Lugana with this, like, I don't know if it may be called Pacific. I think the word comes to my mind, Pacific, and it's got this metallic blue sparkle in it. I don't know if you can see it, hopefully. Let me see. Yeah, it's kind of hard to show it, but it's got like, it's quite sparkly, to be honest. And this one, I'm experimenting. So I had some variegated DMC floss, and I wanted to try combining a bit of like these variegated pink flosses with a little bit of these variegated like green and yellow flosses. So towards the edges of these tentacles, I wanted to make them more kind of greenish or yellowish, and then have the actual middle of the octopus more on the pink side. It's mostly because one of the most amazing things I adore about octopuses is that they can change colors super easily, and they can camouflage and kind of change colors according to the environment. And I actually saw this beautiful picture of an octopus which was like pink in the middle and had like the tentacles melted basically into the surrounding kind of greens of the seaweed and stuff. And it's really beautiful, and I wanted to reflect, rather than having one solid color, I wanted to reflect that octopuses are like very multicolored, very colorful species. So basically I'm experimenting with that, but I haven't made much progress. This is stitched 1/1 on 28 count. So I can do 1/1, I think, but I think not above 28 count. I think 28 count is my limit. And that one time, that's also another thing. So that one project that I don't like stitching 1/1 on is 32 count, but it's actually hand dyed as well. So it's actually probably going to be more like 33, 34 count. So I may just have pushed myself too far there. But 28 count, I don't really struggle as much with stitching 1/1. I can manage that all right. Not that my stitches are the neatest in the world, but they're not horrible looking. But with that 32 count, I was just not happy really with my stitching. So maybe I should try and just restart that project on a different fabric one day. I don't know. One day I may do it. Not sure. And now we're off to the most recent starts. So probably lots of you have seen them. So I'm just going to really just be very brief here. First one, the Owl First Embroidery Squirrel. So as I said, we're going to have a squirrel SAL in January. It's going to be called January Squirrel SAL. That's the hashtag. So if you want to join, please feel welcome to join with any squirrel chart. The motivation for this SAL was actually this chart, which is Gathering Acorns by the Cottage Garden Samplings. But I actually have 2 squirrels on the go, and I'm not sure yet which one I'm going to stitch on more. I'm going to try and put a little bit of stitching on each of them, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to stitch on both, to get a lot of stitching on both of them, and I'm not sure which one I'm going to focus on more. But yes, so I have Gathering Acorns by the Cottage Garden Samplings, and I also have the Owl First Embroidery Squirrel, which is quite a recent release. I'm going to insert here a picture of what it's meant to look like when it's finished. And so the Owl First Squirrel, this is how far I am for now. I have modified, again, I've used some of these variegated DMC threads. So I'm using, where is it? I thought I lost it, but I'm using this one, 4130, for the actual squirrel. And I think I was going to use this one maybe for bits of the tail. So 4140 as well. These variegated DMCs are quite nice, and they're very affordable and easily accessible as well. So I quite like using them actually. Yeah, and I swapped some of the colors because obviously I can't get the Owl Forest colors, and I'm not sure, I think I wasn't happy with their DMC conversion, so I kind of just picked the colors from my stash that I liked. And then Gathering Ink, yeah, sorry, I forgot to tell you, this is 36 count fabric from Megan Coffee Craft Fabrics. It's like this lovely, slightly mottled, very light green. Hopefully you can see it. I think it shows better on this camera than on my other camera. On my front camera, which I usually use. And I'm stitching actually Because I started it 1/1 and I stitched like pretty much most of the head 1/1, and I wasn't happy with how it was looking. It was just too much fabric coming through and the colors weren't very intense. So then I actually switched, so I decided to add 1 strand of thread on top of my top leg of the cross. So basically this is like the bottom leg of the cross is 1 strand of floss, and then the top leg of the cross is 2 strands of floss. So I call it 1.5 over 2, basically. Now, gathering acorns, this one, I think this is 40 count. So after my failure with stitching 1/2 on 36 count, I decided to go to higher count and try 1/2 on 40 count. So this is what happens. So basically, yeah, I think 1/2 on 40 count. Sorry, I'm getting very confused with one. I think I may have said before 1/1 instead of 1/2 on the other squirrel, but they both stitched over 2. No, nothing is stitched over 1, basically. But this one, yeah, I think looks much better. So 1/2 on 40 count. This looks fine to me. And I'm using the DMC. So again, they give you an option to use, well, most of them are actually DMCs, but they that one thread, they say you could use the maple syrup from Gentle Art. I just used what I had in starch, so I used the alternate DMC. And just one note of warning is when you use this, so this is that DMC, it's much darker than what's on the actual picture on the cover. So you can see that these darker these bits inside the squirrel, and they actually blend a little bit with that color now, that filling. So it's not that close, and maybe I should have picked a different brown, but I actually quite liked this brown initially, and then I realized it was a bit dark, but then I didn't want to take it out, so I'm just gonna keep going with this darker brown. It also matches, to be fair. The squirrels in the UK are quite grey, quite dark. So maybe this is more like a real life squirrel in the UK, I think. Yeah, so that's this one. So yes, please feel free to join us in the SAL, in the January Squirrel SAL. You know, you can post on Instagram if you have Instagram, or you can send me pictures as well. I'm very happy to send your picture, to share your pictures on my channel. I love seeing your projects. I love seeing what you guys are working on, so always you can keep me posted on that as well. Okay, so that's the squirrels. We're almost there, guys. The next start this autumn, so I had a lot of starts this autumn, which really increased my number of WIPs. I had 2 Rowandean starts, so let me show you them very quickly because you've seen them recently. One of them is the Snow Angel. So let me just show you. Sorry, I don't want to show you the chart, so just give me a second, guys. This is the Snow Angel by John Elliott. I am stitching this on I think this is 30. Is it 32? Is it 28? I don't know. I don't know, actually. This may be 28 count. I'm not sure. But it's a sparkly fabric from the Stitchy Ferret. So it's like a light blue sparkly fabric. And yeah, she's just stitched same as charted. I did try adding some white craning, but I actually blended with the fabric. So I decided maybe the craning, there's no point using it, but it actually makes it kind of worse because it blends more with the fabric because of the sparkle. So I'm just going to use the charted threads, charted white and everything. Yeah, and I don't really have anything to say about this project, I think. I don't know. Then I have another John Elliott. Let me just grab her. It's the... Oh, I found some beads. Oh, I wish I had found them yesterday. Oh, or the day before. You know, when I was doing my Seahorse, I was looking for like green beads, and these would have been much, maybe nicer than the ones I used. These are really nice beads. Lovely beads. Now I'm a bit... Where's my Seahorse? I don't know if they would have been nicer or not. I don't know. The ones I used are okay, I guess. Maybe they're a bit too much, but I think I would have used them. But anyway, it's fine. It doesn't matter now. I'm not taking the beads out. No chance. The seahorse is done. But yeah, I've got some beads here that I should really put away so that I know what they are. But this is the chart. So this is Enchanted Aurora by John Elliott. And I only made a very small start on her. So nothing much to show. She is stitched on 28 count. I'm quite sure this is 28 count. I actually have a little label. So this is again fabric from Megan Coffee Craft Fabrics. She's on Facebook if you ever need to get in touch with her. For now she doesn't have a website, but she's on Facebook and you can place orders with her through Facebook. So this is 28 count. And it doesn't have a name, I guess. It's a sparkly, another beautiful sparkly fabric. So where am I? Let me try and show you where I am. So I started in the middle again, which is around here, I believe. So I've got this little leaf, the purple leaf. I don't know how much you guys can see. I can bring it a little bit closer. But this is basically, the dog will start somewhere here. So if I come down a little bit, I will have a dog here. Well, it's not a dog, it's a wolf, isn't it? But yeah, but basically the animals will start here. So not a lot to see yet, but you can definitely see the sparkle. This fabric is crazy sparkly. Obviously that middle part, that leaf, it doesn't stand out on the fabric, but it will be in the middle of the design. So it will stand out, and also there's a lot of backstitch around the edges of her, so I think she will stand out from the fabric when there's more stitching, but for now it's quite hard to see maybe on the camera what exactly is going on. So I think some more stitching needs to be done for her to really start coming out from that fabric. I've seen, the reason why I chose this design for this fabric is because I actually saw a picture, I think on Instagram, of a very similar fabric. This design was stitched on a very similar fabric and it looked beautiful. So I'm quite confident it's going to look really good when it's done. Okay, and then let me just pack up my John Elliott. So I just had a revelation, guys, that I missed one WIP on my list. So it's actually not 38, it's actually 39 WIPs now on my list. Oh, the reason why I realized is because I realized I have another hate to show you, which I started sneakily. I haven't actually shown it to you yet. And then I remembered, oh wait, I have another hate, but it wasn't on the list. Which I started, I think maybe July or August, I can't quite remember. So let me just show you these two hates. So one of them is the Sleeps with Butterflies, or Sleeping with Butterflies, I can never remember. I think it's Sleeps with Butterflies. So again, it's Heaven and Earth Designs, and it's just a normal, it's not the max color version, that one. It's the normal version. I will insert the picture what it's meant to look like. It's artwork by Margaret Morales. It's a very large chart actually, so it's a very big design. So I have a massive piece of fabric, and I did have a panic because I found some holes in that fabric recently. I don't know how they happened, if it was the needle minder or what was it when I folded it up. But it was on the edges where I wouldn't be stitching anyway, so I think we're good. But I'm like panicking a little bit because these large fabrics, they're a little bit hard sometimes to manage. But the only thing that I have for this one, I have an outline of the butterfly. It's literally 1 day worth of stitching. I haven't done any more since then, so not a lot to show. Again, this is 10 stitch, 28 count, even weave. That's it really about this one. And then my other hate, which I sneakily started because in December, I thought about, some people were doing like 12 starts for December or something like this. I thought maybe I'll do a few starts. I only really did 2 sneaky starts in December, which I even forgot about. But I remembered when I was going through my boxes of projects. This says just a little corner start again, just one day worth of stitching. The Cheshire Cat, now the artist, I need to remind myself, is Sheila Ryan, again, Heaven and Earth Designs, again 28 count 10 stitch. This is a nice shade in a way that it's a black and white, or black and gray and white. So it only has, I think, 12 colors or 11 colors. It's got a ridiculously low number of colors. So this one is very easy to kit up, and shouldn't hopefully be crazy hard to stitch with that few colors. So I just wanted to get a start on it. Yeah, and so that's what happened in December. And then I just have a couple more, I think. So another sneaky December start was something that's it's a very small project, so you know it could be finished in a few days. So I may just do a little bit of stitching on it every now and then. It's just a chart I've had it for a long time. So it's the wee little scientist. So that's really just because I'm a scientist, and I thought she looks, I'm gonna insert the picture here what she's meant to look like. She looks a lot like what I think look like, and she's got all the chemistry things around her, so I thought it would be cute to have a little hoop finish of her, but I only started it, so it's stitched on black Ada, so it's just a little sneaky start. So it's a bit of her lab coat there, and just her tag, her like card for getting into the lab. But that's it really. I don't know, I think this is probably 16 count Ada that I bought at some point. Then another little start that I had just before December, I've shown you on a very recent video, so just very quickly I will show you now. This is the mandala penguin, and now I have a picture somewhere here. This one, so it was in one of the recent editions of the, is it the World of Cross Stitching magazine? So it's this issue, the World of Cross Stitching, issue number 327. And so it's this little penguin by Meloka Designs, and I only have a start on it as well. So this is all I have, really. There we go. So that's my penguin start. And this is, I don't know what count Ada this is. Either 16 or 18, probably 16, I think. Okay. And then I think, is this the last, well, almost last, second last. You would have seen this recently. This is a project bag that I won at Stitch in London retreat. It's from Ness Craft Room. And this is the Dreaming Girl by Barbara Anna. There we go. And this is all I have on her. And I need to start taking hoops of things, because then I can never find any hoops. I can't remember what projects I have on the hoops. But she's been on this hoop for a while now. This is a lovely light blue fabric, very crinkled fabric, from the River Hat Designs. It's lovely and soft. This is definitely a 32 count Murano as well, but it's lovely and soft, and it's a beautiful shade of light blue. And I've changed the color here of her top, so I made it white in the middle. Okay. And I have some charms, because I want to use some of the charms for her. She's got these bits on her hair. I will insert a picture here, because I don't think I inserted that before. There are like things hanging off her hair. She also has a little earring key. So key as an earring. So I got some charms here, like some leaves and an earring, and keys and stuff. So hopefully I can use as well in her hair. Yeah, so that's this one. Okay, and so I have one very last project, which is really a very early start that I was meant to wait for the New Year's to start, but I didn't. Hi guys, this is Natalia from the future, the day after I filmed the WIP parade. And I've already changed my mind. So I was showing you my very last project is the alternative trees from the Modern Folk Embroidery Stitch Along for 2023. So this is the alternative pattern to the large chart that Jacob released. And I'm going to try and stitch at least one of these trees. And that's what I was trying to tell you on my video. I think I may stitch one or two next year, depending how it goes. And what I was telling you is that I started one already for Christmas Eve, because I received my floss and I received the fabric and I received this chart on Christmas Eve. I unpacked it in my last video. And so straight away, because in Poland we celebrate Christmas Eve and we get our gifts on Christmas Eve. And I always remember, sitting after the dinner. So we have a big meal in Poland on Christmas Eve in the evening. And then all the kids and the adults as well, everybody waits until, well, everybody's finished eating, and we eat a lot, so it takes a long time. But once everybody finishes eating, then you can open your gifts. So the gifts are sitting under the Christmas tree for the whole evening, and then at the end of the meal, everybody can open their gifts from under the Christmas tree. And I remember it was always such an exciting time, and I would normally get something really exciting and I wanted to straight away play with whatever I got, just enjoy my gift. And so when I received this in the mail, it kind of felt like that Christmas Eve gift. And so when I finished chatting to my family, when I finished eating my food, I thought, okay, I'm going to start this. And I really enjoyed starting it, but something didn't feel right. So what I bought initially, together with this, I got this paper chart from Evertote, which is, I'm sure you're familiar. It's the company in Canada run by Caroline from, you can find her on YouTube. She's got 2 YouTube channels, Evertote Notes from the Workshop and Off the Grid NeedleArts. And so I got the paper chart and I also got the flosses. So I got their hand-dyed cotton flosses. So you have the planetarium, which is like this lovely dark blue. Hopefully you can see the blue color come through. It's a very lovely, deep, dark blue. And also I got a caramel. So caramel is more kind of brownish, light brown. Very almost golden color, really. It looks a bit golden. So I got these 2 colors. And they look lovely when you put them on something light. So I'm going to show you. So originally, I got a piece of linen from Caroline as well, or from Evertote. And it's the dirty porcelain linen in 36 count. And I started stitching on it on Christmas Eve, and this is how far I got. Okay. And it just didn't feel right at all. It just didn't feel right. Also, I left myself very small margin because I kind of thought actually I could probably fit 2 things on this fabric rather than leaving a very, very large margin. But it just didn't feel right. I'm not sure what it is about stitching on linen that sometimes with some of the designs I just struggle. And I think it's especially when they have these straight lines going through. Somehow the one that I'm stitching on 40 count, the modern folk embroidery that I'm stitching on 40 count, I'm not having issues. But with 36 count, I seem to be having issues stitching straight lines on linen. They just don't sit well enough. Kind of they look a bit bumpy and I don't know, because it's quite uneven. It somehow doesn't work for me. So I thought this morning, okay, let me try something different. And I've put a few stitches. I had a piece of Murano in, I believe this may be ivory. I think this may be ivory actually. I'm not sure. I got 2 different, let me see. I think I have a bag here. And this is soft cream, actually. This is Murano in soft cream. And I bought it with another project in mind, but I'm not going to stitch this project now anyway. So I took it out of the bag and I thought I'm going to give it a go on this Murano. And I'm so much happier. Honestly, this is my go-to fabric. Murano 32 count just makes me happy, honestly. Straight away, I've only put a few stitches, but I can already feel so much better. This fabric just wasn't sitting with me for this project. which sometimes happens, and I thought there's no point trying to force myself stitching on this when it doesn't make me happy, so I've switched to Murano now, and I'm much happier already. And I already have an idea what I can do with this fabric. So if you've watched my channel previously, you would have seen me stitch Mary Amelia's bird, which was actually one of my favorite projects. And that one actually I stitched on linen, although that was 32 count Belfast linen. But I really enjoyed stitching that project on linen, and it was kind of similar in some way, that linen. And this linen actually made me think of that project of the Mary Amelia's bird. And initially I even thought, because I gave that one away and I really loved that one, and initially I even thought, oh, maybe I should stitch her again. But then I remembered I saw another, well, I actually have another chart with a bird, but also I saw another one that I really loved recently. So I think I'm going to stitch something similar. One of these birds, more kind of antique looking birds, because I really love these kind of charts. And I think that would work really well on this kind of fabric. And I think I would feel much better stitching that on this fabric rather than this design. I think this design, because it's so straight, so rectangular and so symmetrical, just having that even weave kind of feeling just makes me feel so much better. So that's the update on this project now. Now I don't know what I said after this. I think I was just saying goodbyes. I honestly can't remember, but I'm just editing the video now, so I will insert this video into that other video, and then hopefully I can patch it up with the end of the other video. Yeah, but I just wanted to give you this update because, I just kind of wanted you to know I've restarted it already. Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching. And enjoy the rest. I think this is literally just the end of the video. So enjoy the rest of the video, and I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye. And that's my very last WIP, my very last start for this year. The next start will be in the new year. I have two things that I need to start in January for the stitch-alongs that I'm participating in. One will be the Bella Filipina Hummingbird Pixie for the Teresa Made Me Do It SAL, and the second one will be the Hoity Toity from Long Dog Samplers, which I am also doing as a stitch-along with some of my stitchy friends. So if you'd like to join us for the Hoity Toity SAL or for the Teresa Made Me Do It SAL as well, definitely join in. Let me know what you'll be stitching on, if you're stitching the Hoity Toity, if you're stitching one of the fancy ladies, or maybe you're stitching this for the Modern Folk Embroidery SAL 2023. Let me know. I think this is it for this video. I'm sure when I add up all the bits together, it's going to be very long. But we are done. We are done with 2022. This is the final progress video for 2022. We now know all the projects I have, where I was with them at the end of 2022, and maybe next year we can compare. We can see what I managed to achieve, or what a mess I made of things in 2023. Let's see how things go. Anyway, I want to wish you a very, very happy new year. All the best for this coming year. Lots of beautiful stitching, everything, lots of good things for you and your families. And I hope to see you around on my channel. Definitely say hello. Leave me some comments if you just want to say something, say hello. I love reading your comments. And yes, if you're not subscribing yet, please consider subscribing. And I hope to see you next year. All right, guys. I don't know what else to say. So, bye-bye.